Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here then welcome, and I'm super happy to have you here because I have prepared loads of crochet tutorials and there are even more coming up. And with that, today I'm out with yet another crochet tutorial, and this time I'm going to teach you a new stitch, which is basically going to be this Solomon's knot or lover's knot, you can call it how you prefer the most. And recently it has become quite trendy, so I thought that this is a perfect timing to actually teach it to you as well. And as always, I have tried to make sure that I'm as beginner friendly as possible, so I'm trying to explain everything in as much detail as I can. But if you feel like I'm going too fast or too slow, then just feel free to adjust the speed of the video. And if you have any questions or need extra help, then just feel free to reach out in the comment section below and I will try to help you from there. But now, without further ado, let's jump into it. So first I'm just taking my yarn, and our first step would be to do a slip knot. So for that I just grab yarn like this, then I twist it to create a loop here, and then grab yarn and pull it through this loop to kind of create a bigger loop and also a knot. And then we can put this loop on our hook and just adjust the size of it so it actually fits this hook. And then our next step is to do 2 chains, so just yarning over and pulling the yarn through. So this is one, and then doing another one, so this is 2 chains. And then after that we just have to do 1 single crochet here inside the first chain that we just did. So I'm just going through that, grabbing yarn and pulling it up to have 2 loops, then yarning over and pulling through both like this. So this is our first single crochet. And then after that we can actually begin with our Solomon's knots, and for that we just have to make this loop longer. It's totally up to us how long we want it to be, so feel free to go for the length that you are going for. And I will just go for something like this, which is approximately 1 inch or 3 centimeters, something like that. And then after that we just have to yarn over like this, and we also have to make sure that this is in the same exact length like that. And then to kind of hold this length, we can just take our thumb and move it a little bit up so it helps us. And then this loop that we just pulled, we are pulling it through the loop that we had initially like this. And then the next step is to do 1 single crochet, and we will be doing that through here, through going through these 2 loops that we have basically. So just going through there, then grabbing yarn and pulling it up to have 2 loops, then yarning over and pulling through both of them like this. And with that we have created our first Solomon's knot. So this is the whole process, and then after that we again just can repeat the same thing. So again, making this loop longer and trying to make it in the exact same length as this one. Of course it can be a little bit longer or shorter. Then we are just yarning over and making sure that this loop is also in an equal length, and then moving up our thumb and pulling this loop through the loop that we had like this, and then just performing a single crochet by going through this space between these loops like this. And with that we have created another Solomon's knot like this. And then after that we just keep on going and repeating the same process. So here I'm just trying to do it a little bit faster, and I have created another one like this. So this is the whole point, and perhaps let's do another one together. So making it longer, then yarning over and trying to have the exact length, moving up our thumb to hold this yarn and then pulling it through and doing a single crochet in between like this. So this is how it looks once I have created now 4 of them in total, and you just basically have to repeat the same thing. And the point is to actually create an uneven number of these loops that we have here. So depending on the length or the size of the panel that you are going for, just make sure that you have odd number. So in my case I will be going for 13 of these loops in total. So I will just continue by repeating the same thing, and then I will meet you back once I have done 13 in total. So here in total I have done 13 loops, and this is how it looks. So now we can proceed with working on the first row, and for that I'm just kind of like turning my work like this on the other side, but if you wish you can leave it as it is. And then before we begin, we actually have to make 2 more loops. So following the same process as before, we are just making loops that are also in the same length as we did them before. So here I'm just adding the first one and then also adding the second one like this. So now these 2 are added and we can proceed with the first row. And to start, we first just have to skip 3 loops. So 1, 2 and 3, and then inside this knot, this is where we are going to do a single crochet. So I'm just going through here like this, through the single crochet that we did, and doing another single crochet in there like this. So now we have actually begun, and here we have kind of created like a triangle. And then after that, we again just have to do 2 loops. So here I'm starting to work on that already. So here just adding the first one like this, and then also adding the second one right after that like that. So now these 2 are added, and then our next step again is to do a single crochet, and we first just have to skip 2 loops. So 1 and 2, and then inside this one, this is where we are adding a single crochet. So I'm just going through there and doing a single crochet like this. And then again after that, we just have to keep on repeating. So first we are doing 2 loops, and then again we are just skipping 2 loops. So here I'm just working on the second loop like that, and then the same thing, we are just skipping 2 loops. So 1 and 2, and then in here we are adding a single crochet. So the same process applies until you reach the very end of this first row that we have here. So keep on doing these loops and skipping 2 loops until you have reached the point here where we started like that. So just go all the way through until you reach that point there. And here I have already reached the end of this row, and this is how it looks so far. So you can see here that we have created these bigger loops by skipping 2 and making 2 all the time like this. And here at the end I have again created 2 loops, and if we are skipping 2 loops, we actually have this very last single crochet. So we just have to do a single crochet inside there as well. And with that, we have completed this row like this. And now we can proceed further with working on the next one. And for that, first we are just turning our work. It might seem a little bit messy, but once you actually grow this panel further by adding extra rows, it will all make sense. And then our first step is to actually create 3 of these loops, or 3 of these Solomon's knots. So I'm just proceeding with doing that. So working on the first one, then the second one in the same way as we did it before, and then also making the third one like this. And then once that's done, we are actually going to skip 4 of these loops here. So it basically just means that we have to skip these 3 that we just did, and then also this one, which is just at the end of this row that we just finalized. And then we are doing a single crochet here in between. So I will just put this on the table so it makes more sense. So here we have the end of the row that we just completed. Then we did 3 loops, so 1, 2, 3, and then we have to skip these 3 as well as this, which is the 4th one, and we will do single crochet here on top of that one. So I'm just going through this space here and doing a single crochet inside here like this. So now we have also begun working on this row, and then the next step after that is again the same thing as we did before. We are going to do 2 loops and then skip 2. So in this case here I'm starting on the first one like that, and then also the second one in the same way. So now it is completed, and then we again have to skip 2. So just to have a look here, so here we have 1, 2, and we have to skip 2, so 1 and 2, and we are adding a single crochet inside here on the basically on the tip of this loop that we have here. So I'm just going through there and doing a single crochet in there. So this is the whole process for this row. So all you have to do is just keep on making 2 loops, skipping 2, and basically throughout this row you will be doing single crochets here on top of these loops that you have here. So just keep on doing that, and then I will meet you again once we have reached the end of this row that we are working on. And here it is. So now I have basically completed also this row, and here I have done 2 loops, and now we are skipping 2. So in here, in this case, we just have to add single crochet here on top of this one. So I'm just going to do that and going through here like that. So now this row is officially completed, and this is how it looks. And also this row that we just did, this is basically our repeat row. So now from now on we just have to continue what we did. So first we are turning our work like that, then we are proceeding further with creating 3 loops in total, and then we are skipping 4 loops. So once I will have created 3 loops, the next single crochet that I would be doing, it would be inside this one like that. So after this, now the process is repetitive, and you just have to keep on adding and repeating the process for this last row that we just did until you have built the length that you are going for this, and continue doing that for as long as you wish basically. And now here I have done 13 rows in total, and this is how it looks. So as you can see, it's quite flexible and you can kind of stretch it in different ways, but then it also adjusts like the size or like length or width of it. But now with this I'm actually done with the size that I'm going for, and now we can fasten off. So here I have just completed the last row or last stitch of this last row, and to fasten off I normally just chain 1 like this, then make this loop a little bit longer, then I'm just grabbing my scissors and cutting off yarn, and as it's cut off we can tighten it in a secure knot like this. So now this is done, and this is how it looks. But otherwise, if you want, you can just keep on going to make it even larger if it's necessary for the size that you are going for. So that is basically it from me today. I really hope that you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope that this video is going to be useful for you in case you are planning to use this stitch for creating something amazing. And you can easily use this stitch for creating all sorts of different things, starting from like a scarf or a shawl or like a blanket that is for like decoration or something. And actually I already have a project in mind as well, so stay tuned for that, because I will be working on kind of like a wearable creation by using this stitch, and I will make sure that I'm sharing it with you as well. So stay tuned, and there is more to come. But if you did enjoy this video, then please give me a big thumbs up, and if you're new here, then please subscribe, and I will see you later. Bye!